Welcome everyone to another live stream with me, Professor Heather Austin. If you guys can hear me and see me okay, give this video a big, huge thumbs up, whether you're here with us live or whether you're catching this on replay. Let me know where you're joining us from in the comments. A lot of you jumped in early. So happy to see you guys here. Today, we are talking all about why your job search may have failed in 2024 and how to fix it for faster job offers in 2025. So say hello in the chat. Make sure you are logged into YouTube if you are not already logged in so that you can say hello. I'm so happy to see you guys here. Hopefully you are as pumped up about today's live session as I am. Alexa, so happy to see you. Christopher is here. Amitka is here. Hello, Sharon, Michelle, happy to see you too. Kevin, Don is here. Ryan is here. So happy to see you guys. Nick, Christopher, happy to have you guys. Hello and welcome to this live session. I have so many amazing tools and resources to share with you guys today. My team is also here in the chat. My team is going to be answering questions that you have during today's live stream. We get a lot of questions during our live shows. I can't always get to all of them. They will be getting some select questions in front of me so that I can answer them. And by the way, if you do have a question, make sure you type the word question in front of your question, right? When you do that, it actually lights up on my end and I can access it better. So type question in front of your question, give this video a thumbs up. If you have not yet subscribed to this channel, make sure you do. If you do subscribe and turn on all your notifications, you will be notified whenever we host trainings like this or when we publish videos live on YouTube, helping you succeed in the job market. So I have slides to share with you guys today. Get your favorite notepad out, get your pencil out, or however you take notes, get your note-taking skills ready because you are going to want to apply whatever I'm teaching here today so that you can have a successful job search in 2025. So let's jump into it. And by the way, if you have never been to a live stream of mine, I ask you guys a lot of questions. So of course, get your keyboarding hands ready because I want to hear from you in the chat as we are going through today's session. So of course, we are covering why your job search may have failed in 2024 and how you can fix it for faster job offers in 2025. Now, at the end of today's session, I am going to be sharing with you guys more information about our 2025 Job Search Success Blueprint. This is a private, live, virtual event held on Zoom. Remember, space is limited for this event. I'll share more about that as we get toward the end of today's presentation. So I want to know in the chat, what's your biggest job search challenge? So when you think about job searching, let me know what your biggest job search challenge is. Now, I get emails, hundreds of emails a day and comments on our YouTube channel and some of our other social media platforms where you guys do share your challenges with me. But those that are here live with me today, let me know what your biggest challenge is. Now, I so appreciate all of you guys being here. And I want to just tell you, thank you for attending today's session. Our YouTube viewers and the folks that follow us on all the social platforms, right? We're able to help hundreds of thousands of job seekers with the content that we share here. Now, a couple of the amazing companies that our viewers and our students and our clients have been able to land jobs at and interviews and job offers: Google, Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, Apple, Paramount, Disney, all of these amazing companies. Now, it's not just large companies that we are able to help people land jobs at. It's also small companies as well. But this is just some of the companies that our viewers and our clients are able to land jobs at. So if you tune in today and you apply what I'm going to share with you, we want to see you as a success story. Let me share a couple success stories with you before we jump into the content. So Michael wrote in and said, "Thank you for your amazing and insightful videos. I applied for a position with my state on 3 separate occasions." Sorry. He says, and did not get the job. He said, "Prior to my 4th attempt, which I was very hesitant to do, I discovered your videos and studied them day in and day out, and guess what? I got the job." Here is what Amy said. She says, I stumbled across your videos on YouTube, and I have to say it was the best resume video I have seen. The information you provided was so key and truly helped me overcome the hurdle of writing about myself and putting quantifiable achievements into my resume. Can you resonate with Amy? She says, which I was previously lacking. I was able to land the exact job I was after with a 30% salary increase. And she goes on to say the hiring manager mentioned in her interview that her resume was highly spoken about within the HR department, which is a first for me. Now, I have so many more amazing stories to share with you about job seekers that have success who stay tuned and take notes and listen to what I'm going to teach. So here's what Joshua said. He said, thanks to your videos and awesome resume template, I was able to get a 35K promotion. I'm grateful for the work you do. So if you guys look at the commonality of these folks, they're not spending a lot of time job searching. They're getting the exact tools that they need. They're getting hired faster. And not only that, they're making more money. So tune in for that. Again, my team is here moderating the chat and getting questions in front of me. If you have any questions, make sure you pop that into the chat as well. Now, if you stick around with me all the way until today's presentation ends, I'm going to share with you where you can get an invite-only link to our next career coaching and job search strategy session. So you'll definitely want to tune in for that. Now, what we're going to cover today here is I'm going to talk to you a little bit about why the average job search took 8 months and 221 applications in 2024. I know that those numbers sound staggering. We're going to also talk about the LinkedIn paradox. I'm going to share with you why LinkedIn failed most job seekers and what you need to do differently in 2025. And then, of course, I'm going to share with you some strategies to help you cut your job search in half and land your dream role faster and smarter. So let me see where you guys are in terms of your biggest job search challenges. I see a lot of people are talking about interviews. AAA3, hello, welcome, says getting the interview, plenty of bot rejections, but few interviews. We're going to talk a little bit about that today. FM Consult, hello, happy to have you. Biggest challenge, don't get the interview calls. Sharon, happy to see you as well, getting interviews as well. Kevin, finding the specific job fit as I have a very diverse background. Yep, I know what you mean, Kevin. Michelle, no response even when reaching out with LinkedIn. Okay, I'm going to share with you guys some solid strategies today. So make sure you are taking notes because this is amazing information and stuff I've never shared before. So my next question for you, so you shared with me your biggest job search challenge. What or how long have you been searching for a job? Type into the chat how long you have been searching for a job. While you're typing that in, let's kind of evaluate what the heck happened in 2024 and why the average job search took 8 months and 221 applications. Now, don't feel bad if that's you, right? That's okay. Type into the chat how long you've been searching for a job. Now, there is a study, and I want to share a couple screenshots with you. Feel free to screenshot these yourself if you want to. There was a study recently done by Pathrise, right, where they evaluated job seekers, and they do a study that on all sorts of different things, like what are job seekers doing? What are they not doing? How many applications are they submitting? How long is it taking? So according to Pathrise, they're showing us that on average, job seekers in 2024 submitted over 291 applications, right? And that's just on average to actually land a job. Now, do I want you guys doing that? No freaking way, right? The study also shows, so hold on to your seats for this one, that it took an average of 247 days or 8 months to land a job in 2024. Now we can see that these numbers are much higher than 2023. So we're hoping that what I'm sharing with you today, you're not going to be one of these stats, right? Here's another statistic that they shared with us is that the average it's kind of the average number of job applications based on industry. So we can see that almost every industry right now is growing in competitiveness, right? In every sector. And this is due to a lot of different things. In fact, I want to share with you why we think this is happening. Why is it harder to find a job than ever before? Why is it harder in 2024 than it was in the previous year? So if we look at why the job market is so bad right now, what we are seeing, and by the way, I did a whole entire presentation a couple weeks back or last month on my channel where we talked about ghost job offers or ghost job postings. Let me know in the chat if you have seen these recently as you've been searching for a job. So we know that we have more ghost job postings that are showing up online. We know that the interview process is actually getting extended. In fact, we've seen some of our clients and students go on 10 interviews for just one position. We are seeing that employers are ghosting job seekers now. And I'm not just talking about you send a resume and you get ghosted. I'm talking about you go on an interview, you meet the people, you think everything goes great, right? And then you get ghosted. We're seeing more of that. We're seeing the automated resume screening system or ATS eliminate a bunch of job seekers right now. Maybe it's because your resume isn't ATS optimized, or maybe you're just not meeting the criteria based on the position. So we're seeing a lot of that right now. We're also seeing that the labor market has cooled off and there is more competition, right? So the labor market has cooled off and there is more competition. So my next question for you is, have you tracked your applications, right? So you're sharing how many, you're kind of thinking how many jobs you've applied for. Have you tracked your applications? Like, do you have some sort of tracking system in place that you're using to actually track applications? Now, while you type that in, I want to share a little clip with you from a recruiter on TikTok. I've been doing a lot of deep dives on TikTok lately. I never used the platform before, but I'm actually finding a lot of great information on the platform. You do have to take it with a grain of salt, but I want to share this quick clip with you and let me know if you can resonate with what she's saying.
Listen, when you see those big scary numbers on LinkedIn and it says that 200, 300 people have applied for that job, you need to ignore it and you need to apply for that job anyway. Look, y'all, I'm a recruiting manager for a remote tech company. We get huge numbers of applications. So what I'm about to tell you is based on what I see every single day. When one of those job posts says that 200 people have applied, it's probably more like 100 because they have no way of actually knowing what is happening at the company's ATS. But when we get those 100 applications on our end, here's what's actually happening. 20% of them are going to get thrown out right away. Those are the auto rejections. They are in the wrong location. They don't have work authorization. There's like a reason we just legally cannot hire them. Another 70%, and I'm not exaggerating here, 70% are just not qualified for the job. Like half of the applications we get don't fill out anything. All they do is submit a resume. Other ones just don't have the necessary experience to do the job. Like they have no industry experience. They've worked in a totally different functional area. They just are not qualified for the position. So then legitimately, we're left with about 10% of the applicant pool at that point. Even if we reach out to all 10 of those to set up recruiter screens, 2 of them are going to ignore our email. Another one is going to message us and say, hey, I already accepted a job. Another one's going to schedule an interview and then they're not going to show up. And then after the interview, another 3 of them are going to turn out not to be great fits because of maybe the experience that they've had, compensation, something like that. So out of those 100 apps, we might be left with like 4 of them that we can actually move forward to the hiring manager. And there's a decent chance during the hiring process, some of them are not going to make it through. Some of them may accept another offer. And ultimately, there's a decent chance none of them are going to get hired. So when you see those big numbers, ignore it and apply for that job anyway.
Okay, so the interesting thing about this is she says they might have 100 applicants, right, for one position. She goes on to say that 20% of those are thrown out automatically because of reasons why they can't hire them, a location or some sort of auto rejection. She said that 70% of those people are not even qualified for the position, no experience, or they didn't complete the application. Now, I want to share a caveat to that 70% because you could be one of those 70%, right? And maybe you just didn't include the right keywords in your resume. Maybe you didn't submit all the proper application material. Maybe they even just writing a cover letter could have put you over the edge to be one of the 10 people that they were actually thinking about interviewing, right? Now, she goes on to say that 10% of those people that they said, okay, of these 100, we want to interview these 10. 2 of them will ignore the message to go on to an interview. One will have already accepted a position. One won't show up for an interview, right? So then she's saying we only really have 3 to 4 good people to actually interview left out of all of those 100 people. And then she said some won't even make it through the interview process, right? So I want you guys to really focus on being the top 1 or 2 candidates in this pool of 100, and don't let those numbers turn you away when you see that there are 200 applicants for every position if you look at that data on LinkedIn. Now, I want to see where you guys are. I'm seeing a lot of numbers here. In fact, Ryan said 422 positions. I love that you built a Google Sheet. That's amazing. And you said that this reminds you to follow up. I love that. And we have all those resources inside of our programs. We have an amazing job search tracker. Sylvia says, yes, extensive spreadsheet to track the applications. Awesome. Let's see. Gregory says, yes, most of the jobs gets reposted, but I am not given an update. Yeah. And part of that, you guys, there's kind of like an algorithm that goes into that, but I'm going to share a little bit more as we go on. So I love it. Amazing comments. Now, keep your note taking going, and I have some more questions coming up for you in just a second. But let's talk about why LinkedIn failed most job seekers and what to do differently in 2025. So if you've ever tuned into a live training of mine, I teach a lot about LinkedIn. We go into like the nitty-gritty back-end detail of LinkedIn, whether you have a premium account or you don't have a premium account. We teach a lot about LinkedIn here. So I want to share, this is again, we're kind of looking at this PathRise study. And by the way, if you guys want the link to that PathRise study, I'm going to include it in the description of this video so that you can go and read the entire study. It's actually pretty interesting. So according to PathRise, what they are saying is that, and notice this graph, that applying on a company website, or they're even saying Glassdoor, generally offers a higher chance of getting interviews for many different roles. So what I want you to pay attention to here is notice LinkedIn. Notice that LinkedIn, it's showing some success as in the engineering field, and it's showing some success in the IT field. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to extend some more information here. If you've listened to a live stream of mine, you know that I am not a huge proponent of you going out and applying for positions on job boards. We see very little success from our clients and our students when they do that. There's so much more that goes into it, which I'm going to share with you in just a second. But keep in mind that they're kind of favoring Glassdoor over LinkedIn. Now, I think this would show that users are not using the platform properly if they're not getting job offers or job interviews based on the LinkedIn platform. So let me share a quick framework with you in terms of why LinkedIn failed most job seekers. And I want to know if you can resonate with this. So of course, we know that it's pretty overcrowded, right? We know that when an application gets submitted, recruiters are most often overwhelmed by the volume that they get from the platform. And then this leads to a lot of job seekers being overlooked when they're actually on the platform applying for a position. The other thing that we see is rather than job seekers being active users, they become passive users, right? So they're not updating their profiles as they should. It's kind of like sporadically they're going in and changing a couple of things and kind of looking for the recruiters to come to them, which is something I teach you to do, right, in my programs. And you're not engaging consistently on the platform, right? So meaning that your profile is not going to rank as high on recruiter searches as others that might be actively updating their platform, updating their profile, and actively using the platform. The other thing is that we are seeing is very generic profiles. So when your profile is not tailored to the position that you are applying for, or if you're using things like overused buzzwords, right, like motivated or team player or results driven, this is actually diluting your credibility. Now, the other thing that we are seeing is over-reliance on job applications. So we might see that you apply for, like what Ryan said earlier, 422 positions, right? What that leads me to believe is that we're or using too heavily these job boards or the job applications, when in reality there's so many other steps that you can take to be successful. And then finally, we are seeing algorithmic changes. So LinkedIn's algorithm prioritizes engagement. Remember that. Which means that if you have a low activity level, this significantly reduces your visibility to recruiters. Now, we do 3-day, 4-day live training sessions just on LinkedIn on this channel. We will be doing more of that in the new year in January. So if you're not yet subscribed to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you're notified when we do that training, because we dive deep into a lot of these concepts. Now, my next question for you, I want to know, yes or no, do you think LinkedIn has helped your job search or has it hurt your job search? So type yes if you think it has helped your job search. Type no if you think it hasn't helped your job search. In just a minute, while you're typing that in, I'm going to be sharing with you more about our ultimate 2025 job search success blueprint, which is a live virtual event. This is a private event with limited seats. This is not going to be live on YouTube for anyone to attend. This is a private event where you have to grab a ticket to actually attend this event. So I'll share more about that in just a second. Now, the final thing I want to talk about today is how you are going to cut your job search in half. So we don't want you to apply for hundreds or thousands of positions online, right? We want you to have a very targeted job search. We want you to focus on specific industries, companies, and positions so that you aren't applying to hundreds of positions online. By the way, pop questions into the chat if you have them while we are going through this topic. So what can you do to land a job faster? Here's just a simple thing. If you are not doing this already, I'm highly recommending that you need to start doing this now. You need to send a networking email with every application you send. So if you do use those job boards, and again, I'm still going to sway you to use LinkedIn over any of the other platforms because LinkedIn has that networking capability. But if you're submitting that application, you also need to go and send a networking email with every application that you send out. Now, the other thing that I want you to think about is applying to maybe 20 plus jobs per week. Now, don't think about random jobs. I want you to think about jobs that fit your skill set, that fit your experience level, that are positions that you actually want to be doing, that excite you, that make you want to get up in the morning and go to work, right? So we really want that to be super focused. What we have found is when you are focusing on specific companies and positions, you're going to land interviews a lot faster and hopefully job offers at the end of the day. Now, I'm going to share another graph with you in just a second, but there's certain days of the week and certain hours of those days, and according to PathRise, that you should be applying for a position. Now, let me show you this really quickly. Of course, they're always talking about weekdays, and then they're also talking about a 6 a.m. To a 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So let me show you the data that they collected. So what they are showing is job applications sent Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday have the highest chance of getting an interview, right? So you got to picture your recruiter, you're jumping into the office on Monday, you're cleaning some things out, you're maybe pulling applications, you're maybe running your ATS system, whatever it is that you're doing. And now like maybe Tuesday, you're like, okay, I'm going to start sorting through these applicants. By Friday, you're kind of like zoning out, right, as a recruiter. So Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, according to PathRise, are the best days to apply for positions. Well, let me show you the best times of day, right? So they're showing, and by the way, this is based on Pacific Standard Time. So if you are located somewhere else on planet Earth and you aren't in Pacific Standard Time, make sure you adjust based on this, but they're actually saying from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. are the best times to apply for a position. So again, keep that on your radar as you are submitting your applications. Now, the next part to this is really developing your in-demand job skills. We talk a lot about this on this channel. I gave you guys a lot of ideas of what that looks like. You could go search my channel and find different live trainings that I've shared with you where I, excuse me, where I talk about in-demand job skills. So what we are seeing, and this is again according to PathRise, is that companies are increasingly prioritizing skills and experience over academic degrees. So keep that in mind. When they are looking for your skills and your experience, they're actually ranking that a little bit higher than maybe your formal education. Now, I still think training is 100% one of the things that you need to do in order to stay top of the line, in order to show that you are versatile. Keep those trainings going. But as you develop your in-demand job skills, this makes you more attractive as a candidate, right? So again, think about how you're going to perform better on an interview. What types of trainings can you do right now? What type of experience can you get right now so that you are showing yourself as the top candidate? And then finally is optimizing your job search materials before applying. So many times we see job seekers make the mistake of sending out a generic resume or sending out a generic cover letter or even just a generic message to recruiters or people that work within the company, hiring managers, CEOs, and they're not really taking the time to say, what do these people really need and how can I tailor my application materials for that position? So keep that in mind as you are applying for the position. Now, I'm going to let you guys screenshot this if you want. Let me see where you are in the chat. I do see, let me put my glasses on so I can see this a little bit better. Yes, AAA3 has a question. I'm going to pop this up because I can see this really quickly and I'm going to get it up here on the screen. Says, can you elaborate further or offer an example to the recommended sending email with every app? Of course, yes. This is something that we talk about so much on this channel in terms of the networking component. So when you find a position that interests you, one of the things that you want to make sure you're doing is you need to make sure that you have someone on the inside of the company that you are reaching out to, right? So for example, maybe you've submitted the application. A lot of times LinkedIn will show you who the hiring manager is or who the recruiter is for that position. You better be going and messaging that person either through a LinkedIn connection request, connect with them and then send them an email, or if you can get their email, send them an email. Whatever it is, you need to be reaching out to people, right? We're not going to just let your fate go out there and submit applications and not actually do anything about it, right? Because if you do that, chances are you won't ever get in front of a person. Now, think about that recruiter that I shared, that TikTok video. She said that they have 100 applicants. That's awesome for one position, right? But then at the end of the day, they only have 3 to 4 people that they're actually interviewing. Now, can you imagine if you're one of those 3 to 4 that reached out to that recruiter or reached out to someone within the company or reached out to the CEO or whoever it is to say, hey, I'm so interested in this job. Here's why I think I'm the perfect fit. Let's schedule an interview, right? If you are proactive about it and you're doing that networking component or the part of the networking, you're going to see much more success. Good question. I love it. Now, my next question for you, I want to know, based on the things that I've shared with you today, what action step are you going to take? So based on the 3 topics that we covered today, what one action step are you going to take? Now, a lot of you had reached out to me before today's training and said, hey, I just want to make sure that the right companies and the right recruiters are reaching out to me and discovering me. Some of you mentioned, I just want to attract higher quality job offers or career opportunities. Some of you mentioned that you want to be able to confidently make connections with folks in the industry that you're in without feeling awkward. Some of you even had said that you want to be more active on LinkedIn. You want to know how to use the platform properly. You want to know how to organize your job search better. So while you're typing in the one action step that you're going to take today, I want to invite you to join us next week during our Ultimate 2025 Job Search Success Blueprint live virtual event. Let me tell you a little bit more about this event. It's an interactive workshop designed to help you map your career path and land your life-changing job offer faster. And we're hoping in 2025, we're hoping you're not sending over 200 applications, and we're hoping you're not going to spend 8 months, which is what the average job seeker spent in 2024. Let me share a couple success stories with some of our clients so that you guys can see what's possible. Andrea wrote in and said, let me get my glasses on so I can see what she said. She said, she grabbed the Career Advancement Toolkit along with Resume Writing Pro, Resume Mastery Pro, which is a couple of our programs. She said, my heartfelt gratitude goes out to you for all of the outstanding content and helpful materials you provided. She said, you fostered a supportive community, reassuring me that I wasn't alone and that the numerous other gifted individuals were facing the same challenges as myself. So look, you guys, Andrea is saying it, do not feel alone. She says, tomorrow marks the beginning of my new role as Director of Marketing Operations. I firmly believe that this role at this organization will offer me the platform to display my expertise and experience, fostering my personal and professional development and facilitating upward progression with the enterprise. So she is on the path to career success just by listening to some of the things that we teach here and putting them into practice. Let me also share with you Josh. So Josh wrote in and said, after being laid off, I found your toolkit. It was an absolute game changer. I was getting interview requests like crazy and ended up landing a job for over $50,000 more per year. 100% the best investment ever. And then here's what happened with Erin. She says, your resume, cover letter, and interview guidance successfully helped me receive 2 job offers. And here's the crazy thing. She actually only applied to 2 jobs. And before that, she was working part-time in a totally separate industry for 10 years. She said, I was concerned I would not find a job in my industry. And with your guidance, I was able to find my dream job, which carries the benefit of increased pay. But here's what she says that is even more important. She says, work in an area which I find rewarding. I truly believe it was your method of guidance and teaching that led to me successfully receiving these 2 job offers. Now, I want to share another clip with you before I dive into what we are going to be covering next week during our 2025 Job Search Success Blueprint. Let me pop Noel's video up on the screen for you really quick. He is a software engineer. You're gonna learn just a little bit about him. It's just a couple minute clip. And he was able to land interviews with tech giants Google and Amazon and went on to land an amazing position after his position was eliminated. So let me know if any of this resonates with you.
So I'm a software engineer. So just a tiny little background. I time at the cable company and I had a management position and they closed us down and moved our jobs to Texas. So I was freelancing to make money on the side and also working with the local homeless coalition to just like make ends meet basically. And then I was like, okay, I need to like freelancing isn't doing, I need to like get a job. So that's how I ended up stumbling upon, I think it was getting around applicant tracking.
The ATS.
ATS.
Yeah, that's a big one. What challenge were you having before you invested in the toolkit?
Yeah, so being like in tech and being an engineer, it's a little unique. So one thing was obviously like getting the interview was hard, which is why I was like, okay, these robots are clearly not picking up my resume.
Yeah.
Also things were like myself, like I wasn't making contact with anyone. There were no touch points. I was just applying to jobs. We all know that doesn't work. But those were like my main struggles. I just like had to build my portfolio and get freelance customers so I could like build on that. And so that was part of my struggle too, just having enough on my portfolio.
What specific milestone would you say after you invested in the toolkit, what like achievement or milestone would you say you achieved as a result of using the toolkit?
I did land interviews with Google and Amazon for software engineering positions.
Good for you. Good for you.
But yeah, so when I got the toolkit and I followed your advice on the videos, like I was in there like highlighting keywords and like putting them into a word cloud and like putting them in my resume. And there, that summer, I got an interview with every job I applied for. And I was like half a dozen
Awesome.
or so that I
Yeah.
really wanted that I got back. And I ended up working for a little bit. And then I got the position I'm in now. They reached
Awesome.
out to me because I applied in the past and they knew me. But yeah,
Yeah,
I had a
that's
pretty
cool.
high success rate.
Awesome. That's good. So, what would you say was the most valuable thing inside the toolkit or the resource inside there that was like the biggest aha moment or the biggest game changer in the job search?
For me, definitely the resume. And I think there was also like an email touch point template as well.
Mhm.
Um, the resume for me is because I had been out of the workforce, like not out of the workforce, I had been out of the job search process for so long that my resume was like archaic. And
Yeah.
you did some resume reviews
Mhm.
on one of the videos, and I was like, okay, I'm like, I want to invest like I really appreciate all this information. I want to
Yeah.
invest in you, I want to invest in myself. I'm like, this is a
Yeah.
win-win.
For
And I'm
sure.
glad I did it because it worked.
Okay, so if you had a friend that was in the job search process or experiencing like frustration trying to find their next ideal job offer, what would you tell them about the toolkit?
You know, I'm gonna tell them to get it. Come on now. It's like
Awesome.
I'm all about investing in yourself because I'm like, if you
Yeah.
don't do it, like nobody else is going to usually. Not always, but
Yeah.
sometimes. And the product has value, especially with the tough job market right now. Like I just
Mhm.
think like it's just such a good investment.
Thanks, you guys. I didn't have my audio on. I could have just been talking all day long and I see no audio. So, what I love about Noel's story is he talked about how he wasn't getting past the ATS system. His position was eliminated. He'd been out of the job search for so long. His resume was archaic. He's like, what do I even do? Where do I even start? How do I make an amazing resume? After he learned some of these strategies, he ended up landing an interview with almost every single job he applied for, even with Google and with Amazon. And at the end of the day, he went on and landed an amazing job opportunity. So, I want to share with you guys really quick what we are going to cover during next week's live job search success blueprint. Let me pop this page up on the screen for you. So, one of the very first things we're going to cover next week is I want to share with you job market trends of 2025, right? So, this is where we are really going to help you position yourself for the new year so that you can discover some of the trends that are actually shaping the hiring process. Now, after that, we're going to talk a little bit about how you can enhance your skill set. So, remember, I talked a little bit about getting those in demand skills and how a lot of employers are valuing that over formal education or degree. So we want to make sure that you match that with the 2025 industry trends. The other thing we're going to cover during this training is the impact of AI on the hiring process and how you can use it to maintain a competitive edge. Now, you know that I am a big proponent of using AI. I use AI every single day in almost everything that I do, and I want to teach you guys some of the strategies so that you can do the same thing in your job search. We're also going to talk about a simplified job search plan for your effective job search, right? So, we're going to really break apart different strategies that you can be putting into practice right now so that you're organized, you're on top of all the applications you're submitting, and you're taking all the right steps. Now, again, if you guys have questions, get them into the chat. I'm going to answer a couple of those in just a second, and then my team is here. They are going to be answering questions as well. Now, when you enroll in this workshop, this is a live virtual event. You're going to get a link to join this event next Tuesday, December 3rd. It's a private Zoom room link. This is a limited space event. We can only have so many people join us inside the Zoom room. So make sure that you get in fast, because the tickets for this event will be sold out before the session starts. What I want to share with you, though, is you'll get instant access to your customized job search strategy. This is a playbook that we are going to be using and you are going to be bringing to the training with you. You'll get a link to that once you save your spot for this event. So what we're going to cover is your career vision and your industry blueprint. I'm not going to go in detail on all of these because it's a lot. We're actually, I think there's 7 different sections that we cover inside this workshop. The other thing that we're going to talk about is how you can showcase your strengths and build your competitive edge. So this is, again, is inside your course workbook when you grab a ticket for the event. We are going to talk about, which again, we can't go away from this event without talking about your winning resume and your cover letter. So we're going to dive deep into strategies that will set you apart from your competition again. We'll also talk about building your digital brand and networking. So this is where we dive deep into LinkedIn. And remember, we know that in 2024, we had a lot of job seekers that didn't actually use LinkedIn properly, right? So we're going to teach you the exact strategies that you need to put into place for 2025 so that you are one of the job seekers that stand out and get found on that platform. We're also going to talk about targeting and planning and organizing, targeting, planning, and organizing for success. So the best job search platforms, leveraging recruitment agencies, tapping into your network, all of that amazing stuff we will dive deep into next week during next week's workshop. And we can't forget about interviews, right? Because now once you get into the interview, we want to make sure that you are acing that interview and actually showing them what you are worth, so that at the end of the day, you can negotiate a higher salary. Section 7 of the workshop, we're going to talk about your guide to job search mastery. So we really want you to be able to navigate each step of the job search process successfully. That's kind of a tongue twister, so that you can achieve your career goals, ace your interviews, stay organized, stay proactive, all the amazing things that go into the job search. And then, of course, we also give you your weekly planner. This is actually just one of the planners that you have access to. So I want you to make sure that of the, let's say you are applying for 20 positions each week, how much time are you spending on each position? Like how many hours, how many minutes, how long are you spending customizing your material? Because I don't want you spending hours customizing each resume and each cover letter. We want a nice streamlined process where you're only spending a couple minutes and getting everything submitted and then doing the networking component. Now, here's the other amazing thing. We have never done this before, but we are throwing in some amazing bonuses into this live virtual event workshop. When you sign up and you grab your ticket, you'll actually get instant access to some of our amazing trainings that we've done and that we continue to update. So the very first one that you're going to have access to is our job interview confidence training. That's your first bonus. Your second bonus is going to be our AI-powered job search prompts and tutorials. So this is where I share over 120 prompts that you can use to go ask your AI assistant, whichever one you use. Now, my favorite go-to is ChatGPT. I don't know which one you guys use. In fact, let me know in the chat, what AI platform do you use, or are you using most frequently if you are using one in your job search? We dive into all the AI goodness. That's going to be your second bonus. And then our third bonus inside of the virtual event is our LinkedIn job search and thought leadership mini series. So this is actually 5 hours of LinkedIn training. You can't get this training anywhere else on my channel. I don't even think you can get this training anywhere else on the internet. With the way that we have it organized, it's very streamlined into how are you job searching, how are you networking, how are you standing out to recruiters. The back end portion of LinkedIn, we cover that. And then another important part of that is that thought leadership part. Remember, when we looked at mistakes that job seekers are making when it comes to using LinkedIn, in 2024 is they weren't using the platform properly. So they're not standing out to the recruiters. They're not standing out to the hiring managers. So inside that training, I teach you exactly how to do that. Now, we also popped in there our 3-part mini series, our job search mastery mini series. Again, this is where I teach you every phase of the job search and what you need to be doing during every phase of the job search. These are all instant access trainings that you have access to now. In fact, what I would highly recommend, we've had a ton of people already join us and have purchased their tickets. For those who have a ticket to the event already, please jump in and start accessing this material before you join me in the live event next Tuesday, because I want you to have a good foundation and a good idea of what it's going to look like when I see you on Tuesday, and then you can come with questions. We are in a live webinar room on Zoom, so you'll have the opportunity to ask questions. You can unmute yourself. We can talk face to face if you would like. That's available for you. But I would highly recommend jumping in and reviewing all of these materials if you have the time to do it now before Tuesday. And by the way, this bonus actually includes over 7 hours of action-packed job search advice. Now, we also like to throw in fast action bonuses. So for the very first 20 people that decide to grab a ticket to our live event next week, we are going to be throwing in another invite-only link to our group career and job search strategy session in December. So we have another session in December coming up. In fact, I'm going to give you the date to that right now for those that already have a ticket. December 19th, that's going to be our next career and job search strategy session. So not only will you get to join me in a private room on Zoom next week with your ticket, you'll also get to join me on December 19th and ask questions, and we dive even deeper into some amazing career content. Now, let me see if we have any more bonuses. Oh, we do have our career experts template and example vault. I forgot about that. So this one, and I need to go back in and count all of the templates and examples that we have in here. I say that there's 60, but I think there's actually quite a bit more. My team and I actually have been hard at work getting all of these templates organized for you, your resume template, your cover letter template, all your job interview follow-up templates, all of your templates for helping you answer the top 20 interview questions. And not only that, we also have our AI templates in there so that if you are trying to learn how to use AI a little bit better and you're new to it, we have all of that in there. You can customize those templates. And I think there's a lot more than 60, but next time I see you guys, I'll get a correct number for you. And then of course we have all of our networking templates. So, all you need to do, and this is kind of how it works, the job search success blueprint step by step. You're going to join the workshop, right? You'll get instant access to all of the bonus material as soon as you purchase your ticket. You'll get instant access to the bonus material. You'll also have instant access to the online portal where you will get the link to join next week's session. After that, you're going to follow along with your personal workbook because that's going to also be part of your materials. And then we're going to create your 2025 job hunt strategy. So let me share another couple slides with you guys, and then we are going to take questions. Let me pop this up really quick on the screen here. Give me 1 second to get this up here. So if you were to evaluate all of the materials inside of this live virtual blueprint, we've got trainings, templates, resources. Everything inside of this event is worth more than $2,876, right? And the other thing that you're going to have to keep in mind is that we are giving these tickets right now away for 75% off the full price, right? Now, this offer ends next Tuesday, December 3rd, when we go live with the workshop. This offer will not be available anymore. So if you're one of those people that are like, I need to kind of figure out if I want to even do this, take your time because we do have until December 3rd. However, if you're one of those people that want access to the fast action bonus, which is an additional coaching session in December on December 19th, you'll definitely want to make sure you join us today, because those tickets will sell out by the end of the day. And the reason why they're going to sell out is because you don't have to purchase this event for $2,876. You also don't have to invest in this event for $197. Today, we are offering the 2025 Job Search Success Blueprint live virtual event with all the bonus material for just $37. So if you guys want to join us in that today, make sure you get in and do that. You're going to want to go to heatheraustin.online/live class. So heatheraustin.online/live class. My team has also posted the link in the chat. I have the link, I believe, in the comments below, or the description below this video if you are watching the replay. And then I've also pinned it in the chat. So again, go to heatheraustin.online/live class. We do also always offer secure checkout with PayPal or credit card. So again, you can take that step if you want. At a quick glance, and then I'm going to take questions. Inside, you'll get your exclusive job search planning workshop. So that is on replay, unlimited replay forever. So once we go live next week and we do all of our training, which I want to say, if I were to give a number on this event, I think we could be online together for maybe 2, maybe 3 hours of just going through your job search plan for 2025. If you can't join us live, or maybe you have to join us for part of it, you can join us for part of it, and then you can come back and watch the replay again later on. You do have lifetime access to this curriculum. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now, the other thing that you'll have access to is your job search strategy playbook. That's also going to be in there. You can download that in PDF form. You can print it out if you want. I actually have mine printed out, and it's in a nice bound. Can you guys see that? It's in a nice bound copy. This is what we will be using for the workshop next week. You have instant access already to your job interview confidence training. You have instant access right now to your 120 proven AI-powered job search prompts and tutorial. You'll have instant access to our LinkedIn job search and thought leadership mini series, the 3-part job search mastery mini series. All of that you will have instant access to. Now, for those, and then of course the career experts template and example vault, all of that you can access today right now. The fast action bonus, however, is only going to go to the first 20 people, which this will be gone by the end of today. It might even already be gone by the end of today's session. So make sure you get in and do that. That is a bonus session on December 19th, where we will do a group career and job search strategy session. And then of course, you always have lifetime access to everything that you see here on the screen. This is a great gift as well. If you guys are thinking of gifts for people, if you have any friends that need some help with their job search, which I know a lot of us do. Here is another client of ours, Heather. She said, I landed a job. Your resume and cover letter advice helped me get an interview with almost every company I submitted an offer to that was well above the salary range quoted. So again, the theme here today is we don't want you to spend hours and months and days job searching. We want it to be very streamlined. When you land your job interview, we want you to land a job offer for more than what you thought. And not only that, we want it to be a rewarding position that you know you can show up to every day, be excited about, and want to get up and get to work every day, right? So that is the job search success blueprint in a nutshell. Let me see where you guys are with questions, and then we'll go from there. I know there's a lot of people that popped into the chat. And by the way, I would also love to know, you guys, what is your biggest takeaway from today's session? I know some of you popped in already, what action step you're going to take today, but what is your biggest takeaway from today's session? Let me see what I can answer really quick. Okay, so CK Besh, let me see if I can pull that question up. Asked a couple of questions about LinkedIn. Says, if LinkedIn is failing people, why be on it? I love it. Now, let me explain it this way. LinkedIn is probably not really failing people. It's that we're not using it properly as job seekers. So once we learn the proper strategy to using LinkedIn, it's not going to be failing people, right? So again, if you remember back to the slide that I shared earlier about what you can do, it's about the networking, it's about updating your profile consistently, and it's about using the platform consistently, like engaging in the newsfeed, which again, that's one of the bonuses inside of our workshop, is your LinkedIn job search and thought leadership training, which will teach you how to use it properly so that you're not one of those job seekers that LinkedIn is failing. Okay, I think I might have answered that. Oh, let me answer this other question from CK Besh. Who exactly are you sending those emails to? Applying on a specific company site doesn't offer an opportunity to send an email. Cover letter, yes, but no email. Such a good question. So this is where you have to do a little bit more research on the company and LinkedIn. That's why I love LinkedIn over any other job search platform, because it gives you a clear hierarchy of who works for the company, what position are they in, who can you send a message to, whether you're just connecting with them for the first time on LinkedIn. You're going to send a connection request. You're going to also send an email. If you do have LinkedIn Premium, you can send in-mails all day long, right, to people that work with the company. So it's doing a little bit of research to find out who it is that you send that message to. If you can find the email from the company site, that's fine too. And by the way, there are certain websites out there that you can use to actually look up people who work for companies and get their email and send it that way. But I always like to recommend going through LinkedIn first. Okay, I want to see if I can get some of these questions up here on the screen. And I might be working backwards. So I apologize. Well, let me see if I can work my way up. And by the way, thanks to all of you who popped question in front of your question, because that makes it so much easier. Okay, Michelle, hello. I love seeing you here on the live streams. Michelle says, do you send another message if they don't reply? It depends. So it depends on how long has gone by. It depends on what happened previously, meaning like, had you had any other conversations with them? Is it you just submitting a resume and an application and then you're not hearing anything back and then you're sending a message and then maybe another one? I recommend following up 5 to 7 days. Actually, I recommend following up right away as soon as the application has been submitted to let them know it's submitted, and then following up again 5 to 7 days after that, and then maybe one more follow-up 5 to 7 days after that. Sometimes you have to really apply this with a grain of salt. Sometimes you may have to cut your losses, right? So if they're just ghosting you, they're ghosting you and you have to move on. There's not much you can do after that, but I'm still a big proponent of following up when you can. And within that 5 to 7 day mark. Let's see. Okay, I'm trying to get through these questions and get them up. Yep. Okay, this is when I was muted. Yep, I was muted for a minute there. Sorry about that. Yes. Hello, team Heather Austin. I'm so happy that you popped this in earlier. To those who had questions about why to continue to use LinkedIn despite it failing you, it really has to do with strategy. Yes, 100%. Thanks. Heather is amazing at explaining the new LinkedIn paradigm. Yep, it really does have to do with strategy. LinkedIn is an amazing platform, but we have to use it properly. Good. I see that you guys are using ChatGPT. I love that. Okay, FM Consultant asked a question. An interactive workshop designed to help you write a resume. Oh, what is an interactive workshop? Okay, well, what we're doing during our workshop, our job search blueprint workshop, is we're going to be live online. It's going to be interactive. It's not just going to be me teaching all these concepts and sharing, even though I am going to be doing that, but you're also going to be talking and we're going to be engaged with each other. And it's actually a party. Like it's really fun. These are my favorite types of workshops to give because we can be more open, we can communicate, we can laugh, we can have fun. I'm going to tell you guys to bring all your treats and snacks and drinks because we're gonna be in for it for a little while. Love it. Awesome. I love to see so many of you joining us for this workshop. It is going to be a blast. Okay, let's see. I know this doesn't have the word question in front of it, but this popped up. What are your best tips and recommendations for candidates applying outside of the USA? So I actually have a video I'm going to share with you guys at a live stream coming up here soon. I actually had a candidate or a client who she was in Hong Kong and she was applying for a position in the US. In fact, she actually ended up moving to the US because she ended up getting the position here. So there's so many different strategies and tactics that you need to put in place. Keep in mind, remember that TikTok video I shared with you where she said 10% of the candidates that submit an application, they can't even hire anyway because of location or some other thing. So you have to be really careful about making sure when you're looking for companies in the US, if you are outside of the US, make sure that they do hire international candidates. So just doing a little bit of research to make sure, hey, are they going to hire me? Because you don't want to put in all that time and effort if they're not going to hire you, right? And you're automatically disqualified because of your location. So I would definitely make sure you do that. Number two, and this is what I've learned from my international clients, is you want to make sure your application material fit the US market, right? So I have clients that I meet with all over the world, and some countries, they want you to put like a photo on your resume, like a picture, right? In the US, we don't do that. So you have to make sure that you're following the guidelines that we use in the US for hiring, like you're not going to put a photo on a resume. And there's certain resume formats that we look for, and certain resume formats that recruiters and hiring managers and even the ATS are accustomed to. So really making sure that you follow those guidelines. So those would be the two tips that I share with you. Oh, Tim, I'm so sorry you didn't get the email. So you guys, listen, if you are on my email list, we have lots and lots of people on our email list. Close to 75,000 people. So sometimes our emails go to spam. If you did not get the email for this event and you know for sure you are on my email list, make sure you click and drag if an email went to spam or a promotions tab, click and drag it into your primary tab if you're using Gmail, or mark it as a safe sender so that you get notifications when we do these live events, because sometimes, because we're sending to so many people, sometimes it just gets sent right to spam and people don't see the emails. Now, if you've also liked this video, which by the way, do it if you haven't, and subscribe to this channel, you should get notifications when we do these types of live training sessions on YouTube. And yes, Tim says, is there a replay? There will be a replay of this session. This session will not be taken down off of YouTube. This session will remain on YouTube, so you can jump in and listen to that whenever you want. Good question though, Tim. And I'm sorry you didn't see the email. Make sure, again, mark me as a safe sender so that you get the updates when we do these training sessions. Ruby asked a really good question. How long will the live training be? It's going to be a couple hours. So again, you're going to want to bring your favorite treats, your snacks, good note-taking material. You'll have access to your job search playbook where you'll actually be able to take notes in that if you decide to print it off. And then, of course, you have access to all of the other bonus material. You'll have instant access to that. For those that are joining us and purchasing a ticket, I'm so glad to have you. I highly recommend jumping in and getting started today if you have some time before we jump into next week's session. And by the way, remember, if you want to be one of the fast action enrollees for this event, you're going to want to grab a ticket today. The event does not go out, the ticket is still available until December 3rd. So you'll still be able to grab a ticket then. But that's when the event starts. So right before the event starts, tickets will expire. Well, actually, the other thing to keep in mind is this is limited space. So we won't be able to accept everyone into this. So again, you guys do have a couple of guidelines. Okay, let me just pop this comment up here if I can get to it. Just so you know, I get this comment all the time on my channel that I look like Tina Fey. I'm like, I don't think I look like Tina Fey, but I'll take that as a compliment. I know she's really funny. So if anything, that makes me feel good. Awesome, you guys. Okay. Any last minute questions here? Again, let me just pop up. I want to throw up here really quick on to the screen just to recap what's inside of our live job search success blueprint for 2025. You'll get your exclusive job search planning workshop, which does happen next week on December 3rd. You'll get your ultimate job search strategy playbook. You do have instant access to all the bonus material, job interview confidence training, 120 plus proven AI prompts. With your tutorial, you'll have our LinkedIn job search and thought leadership mini series. The VIP bonus is our 3-part job search mastery mini series. Of course, you always get access to our career experts template and example vault. All of that is instant access today as soon as you enroll. Our fast action bonus is going to be an additional career and job search coaching session on December 19th. You'll get an invite only link to that if you are part of that fast action group. And then you guys, you get lifetime access to this curriculum. So I don't know anywhere else on the internet out there where you'll have access to this much amazing material for $37. So if you want to join us, make sure you go to heatheraustin.online/live class or use the link in the chat that we've provided. Or if you're catching this on the replay, use the link in the description box below this video. If you guys have any questions at all, and anyone that's joined us so far, thank you for joining us in today's session and next week's session. If you decide to join us there, make sure you email us at heather@professораustin.com. I have an amazing virtual assistant, Tori, who's been with me for 6 or 7 years. She'll be in there. She's answering questions. She's getting emails in front of me because we get so many emails a day. But if you have questions, send them to heather@professораustin.com. And hopefully I see you guys in the live virtual job search success blueprint workshop next week. Okay, you guys, we'll be in touch.